Good morning. This is going to be a video going over how you can get AI to write cold emails better than any type of copywriter, better than yourself, and better than I can. If you don't know me, my name is Ryan Bryden. I run an outbound agency at Breakout. We've helped lots of companies in across all B2B industries, really, in growing sales pipeline. And then we've also helped founders on the healthcare side of things connect to the right investors and start to raise some capital. But what you're here for is how you can get AI to write copy better than a founder, if you are a founder, better than a sales rep, better than a copywriter at any particular company. Now, this was not possible in the last few months, but I really think that we are at the tipping point where certain AI models can start to do this, and they're getting very, very good at it. So this means that the time, the effort, and the cost of creating content, doing outreach, or coming up with marketing angles for your company has significantly decreased. So here's exactly how we are currently using a few of these models to write this copy and come up with campaign strategy in just a few minutes. So what you're going to need for this is company assets, material. If you have white papers, if you have case studies, would be great as well. Anything about your company, or about if you're an agency doing this for certain companies. We use onboarding forms; those have been great for feeding the models themselves. You're going to need Claude.ai from Anthropic, the paid version ideally, and then GPT 4.0. Not 100% necessary, but I just would. So here's how we're actually using these, and then I'll get into an example, right? So from my experience right now and how we're kind of using these, GPT 4.0, it thinks great, right? But it's pretty garbage when it comes to the actual output of sales copy that could work when getting in touch with real people. Claude, on the other hand, doesn't have the same ability to do the web research and think as well, at least in my opinion. But with the right information fed to it, its copy ability is really good, right? So we're going to use both these models. So the main idea is that we're going to take GPT, figure out the industry, the pain points, the specific issues with job titles, departments, current solutions in place, blah, blah, blah. We're trying to get GPT to just fill us in about all of the information in an industry that you would not know if you weren't in it, right? So this is one of the most important things that you should be using these models for. And I'll get to an example of this to show this in just a second, but you want to pull out deep industry insights so that the copy that you come up with is speaking directly to people that are in that industry. So it makes us look like we are knowledge experts, even when we might not be. Using Claude, once we have all of that information from GPT, we're going to take that information into Claude and turn that into actual copywriting angles that will perform and that are strong. So without further ado, I'm going to hop into GPT. It's open right here, and we can get to kind of what this actually looks like in real form. We are inside of a GPT window, and what I asked it to do, because I didn't want it to give me an industry that like I sort of knew some things about. So I said, pick a random North American industry that has a large enough TAM, make sure that it's really unique and kind of random. And so we are going to do this for aviation maintenance, repair, and overhaul services. I have no idea what this is about. Let's see what this gives us, right? So the main prompt that I like to put in it is telling GPT that they are leading the outbound business development motion for a company. That has just, in my opinion, for kind of getting it to think like, okay, here's what we're coming from, here's what this is for. And then I just say this, I said, give me a full market breakdown on the target market, something like this, the pain points these customers could be having, deep industry insights that only people from this industry would know. Make sure you're being specific and bring up strong sales arguments in your breakdown. And here's what it gives me, right? So it lays out the entire TAM of an offer like this. We're going over the segments and the major pain points. It's laying this out for me here. Like if I just take a quick read at this, again, I don't know this industry, but looks proper to me. Lays out these sales arguments really, really strongly there. And it's doing this here. Like this is a breakdown that if you were doing manually, or that if you had to get this information from a client, like this would take an extremely long time. But I mean, just from a quick skim here, like this looks really specific and pretty good, right? Like that's the main thing that we're trying to do here is just reduce the time, reduce the effort that you need to get all of this information. But now this by itself isn't that great because it's not turned into actual sales copy. So what we're going to do is literally just take all of this information here and bring this into Claude, and I'll show you how we can turn that into proper copy that you can throw right in a campaign and use. Of course, my camera decided to cut out once I came into Claude, but here we are. And so all we're doing with that information from GPT is, so I pasted it, or I copied and pasted it right into here, and we just prompted it with something like this. I want you to take this information here and come up with the 3-step cold email sequence. What I normally find with Claude is that it'll take a few times to get it really correct. So at first, it tried to give me it in like coding language, and I said, hey, make sure it's plain text. And then it gave me some stuff. I said, okay, these are good. Make them a bit shorter and avoid using bullet points for every angle. And then it gave me this. And I honestly think that if I was running outbound for a aviation MRO company, that I could use this, right? So here's a few examples. So we're saying, hey, John, every hour your aircraft sits in maintenance costs company name approximately $10,000 in lost revenue. I notice your fleet includes aging Boeing 737 to 800s and Airbus, blah, blah, blah. This typically means increasing maintenance frequency, extended turnaround times, and blah, blah, blah. We've helped carriers like company name reduce unplanned downtime by 30% through blah, blah, blah. Would you be open to a call? Again, these are a bit long, but like the overall angle and what the argument is pretty solid. Like this is a pretty good opening line, I think. Hey, John, with the FAA intensing something, airlines like you are increasing compliance burdens and penalties. We develop automation tools that have helped airlines like company name reduce compliance documentation time by 65%. And like the thing with this is that it sounds really wordy, yeah, but I think if you were somebody that worked at one of these companies, a lot of what we are saying here is really relevant, which is honestly the main thing that we are pushing for here. And so yeah, like I think these are pretty good. You can definitely trim them up, but like we just went from an industry that I know nothing about to a full campaign strategy that came from chat, and actual copy that we can use. In this video is like 7 minutes long. And so that's the power of using these two tools right now, and they're probably only going to get better. Again, I'm sorry that my camera cut out, but that is how we are currently using AI models to write outbound copy for us better than humans can using GPT-4o and Claude.ai. If you thought this video was helpful, please drop a like and subscribe. I'll be trying to be a lot more active on here in the future. But thanks for checking this out and have a wonderful day. I'll see you.